Okay, welcome back once again. We're going to go through some more analysis on 1v1 style, but this is all going to be from the Combine this weekend, the Combine 2. And this is game sent in by the players themselves who wanted individual feedback on it, and I offered to do this for them. Have no issue doing it. Hopefully they take something out of it. And we can see what mistakes they made. Now, with these Combine games, you're probably going to see less mistakes than you would normally. There may be wins on here, there may be losses on here, and sometimes I never really do the wins just because you don't learn as much as you can. But being this a Combine game, and the fact that you're trying to prove your skills and stuff, then I'm going to really poke holes in their individual player, things they could have improved on to make themselves stand out even more than they actually did throughout the whole of the game. So we'll see as this game goes on, how it plays out, and go through this one. This one is going to be following Gingy Swag, who played Poseidon in the mid lane. It's a 36-minute game. He's currently in Plat 5. You think he played very well compared to the first week of the Combine. Cool. I think overall I ended up wasting a lot of time because I don't know if I should rotate or farm and end up standing in place. It's always an issue. Always an issue that people seem to underestimate how powerful it is. At least you notice that could be an issue for you. What aspects of the game did you struggle with? Farming versus rotations, okay. When to back versus when to farm, okay. How to rotate without getting out of position. And what aspects of the game did you feel comfortable with? When I was on when I was on time to a team fight, I feel my presence helped to win them. But my problem is anticipating fights and getting to them. Okay, so the whole plan with Gingy here is going to go through what he chose to do. We're going to mainly focus on his decisions where he could have rotated, where he should have rotated, where he couldn't have rotated, when he should have backed, and when he didn't back, and when he did back. So that's going to be the game plan. It's a long game. I'm going to try and cover all the games today that from the Combine, so it means I might skip through areas of this game and sort of semi-fast forward, as you can see on your screen now, just to speed things up a little bit during the early stages. Now, all these guys are on comms as well, so it's something else that I can also point out to him, that if people get picked off because he's not calling the rotations, I could be angry with him and shout at him for not calling the comms correctly. Maybe he did call the comms correctly and his teammates didn't follow up, but I want to make sure that he realizes when he should be comms him. Everything's fine in this start of the game. Nothing too much to really talk about, as you'd expect. What do you take second? 1. Why'd you take you 1? Why'd you take you 1? Could have taken you 2 there, just for extra sustain. I mean, the reason I say why didn't you take your 2 there, let's just have a little look at the costs, first of all, of these skills. 2 cost 65 mana, and it has a lifetime of 6 seconds, which means you can put out extra damage on this creep wave and push it a little bit harder. It means your farming style is even easier in this lane because you take the 2 second. You're actually wasting more mana by taking this, and it also depletes your tidal meter, which is something we can't actually see, which is a shame. I can't get the tidal meter up for you guys so I can discuss the fact that you're not sustaining it very well. But by taking the 2, it doesn't cost you anything in your tidal meter, and it stacks your tidal meter, which also means that it's going to be more effective for you in terms of rotations because you've got extra mobility as well, and it'll be able to help you out overall. So I'd consider taking the 2 at the start. You hurt your mana bar by taking the 1, and you could have got more poke onto him than if you had your 2 as well. Like the rotation there. Where are you going? Oh no, this bit is weird. That was weird. Why are we not farming this minion wave? We lost experience for free. We lost gold. That was a really bad mistake actually, Gingy, to not just farm that wave. Always farm the wave. You just randomly ran into mid lane, didn't do anything. That was a small mistake, but that could actually hurt you. Like, kind of just wasted your time. I like the rotation to back harpies there, just to pick up extra experience, get yourself to 5. Now, you are against a Poseidon there in that wave, just to be clear. You were against a Poseidon. Sorry, Giannis, and he's only level 4. So, like, if you can, like, get him with a Whirlpool, he's dead outright already, just because you're level 5 and he's got no escape from that. Obviously, he dropped the portal in lane 2, so if you could have just closed the gap, 3 and Kraken, that was potential for a kill. Not the easiest thing in the world, but he's had potential to force him back early. Maybe I wouldn't have done it, maybe, just because of the fact that if I didn't kill him, he would have gone back to base, which is what he wants to do soon anyway. Now, you're looking to farm. Try to poke him out. Kraken, boys. Nice Kraken. Nice cracking, it hit the target. We should be looking for mid harpies now. Don't be following this Arachne into combat anymore. I don't think this is a good call from your team. You should be doing mid harpies right now. You're still trying to find a kill when the work's already been done. Even if you get it, it's their mistake more than anything else. And it should have been like you guys going for mid harpies. And the problem with that is that decision to go for that kill. Yep, you got Arachne ahead and you got yourself an assist, but you missed out on mid harpies, which technically would have been better off for the team because they would have shared experience a little bit better for yourself. Not the greatest at whirlpools though there, buddy. You want to position that whirlpool a little bit better than that. Now we're basing. The base is fine. Itemization's good too. Don't agree with this decision at all. This decision is a bad decision on when to go there and farm. You should not be going here to farm when your mid wave is pushed in like this. This is a mistake that you're making. You're actually denying experience overall for the team by doing it this way. This isn't the right rotation to make. It should have been mid lane, farm this, then go and do those. Doing it this way round, you've actually lost experience instead of gained experience by what you're actually choosing to do here. Pushed it mid. Now you've got the opportunity to rotate. Now this is what you were talking about. You weren't sure about rotations. Well, what's available to you right now? Not massive amounts. I'm guessing there should be a call here. The blue buff could be being invaded because Kronos isn't in lane at all. He's just doing his own blue. You could roam a little bit here. I don't like the fact that you just sit in mid lane. This is a big factor that I don't like doing. By just sitting here like this, it means, oh, I've got nothing to do. And they know where you are on the map. If you just walk around the corner here, just walk around the corner here and wait if you don't fancy rotating. It gives no vision to the enemy mid lane of exactly what you're up to. And that means that this Giannis has to think about, oh my god, is he rotating around for these guys here? Obviously you don't know those guys are here, but he would think that. Oh, is he going to rotate? I mean, he's got a ward here, I know, but just take into account that you just leaving the lane for a second could really influence what his mentality is going to be, what he's thinking about. He may even ult across thinking that you're going for a rotation, and then you're like, lol, you wasted your ultimate, now I can go in and go aggressive because I know his ultimate's down. You should be checking out the lane situation as well. I want to just see what you've seen. He's still not got anything other than, he's got no beads or Aegis yet. So if you do land a really good whirlpool, you could probably crack in him and force him back to base, if not kill him. This rotation's very late in the end of things, so you're just chasing for no reason. You're not going to get anything out of this. Why are we still going? Why are we still going? I don't know why he still went, and I don't like this call either. That was risky. Really risky. Let me just talk through why that was so risky. We'll watch it back again. So this is a rotation. What should have happened then is going for red buff. There was no reason to try and go aggressive. You weren't going to find anything. And this is why this call was really risky, because there's a Hercules in the mid lane too, and they have vision of you coming with Thor behind. You could be dead here. If this Hercules played this differently, you could be in a whole lot of trouble. You're zoning in onto Cakeman on this Giannis here to actually try and kill him off. All that needs to happen is Hercules needs to stand over this side, and you're still going to ignore him and run around looking for this Giannis. And when you do that, if he driving strikes you in towards the tower, throws a boulder in your face, and you take a tower hit, you could really get yourself caught out of position, actually pay the price for it. Watch what I mean by this. Watch your positioning. Look how close you are into the tower range now. If he actually realizes, I think he attempts the driving strike here, but he could driving strike you into the tower. They're going to get hit by the tower. Thor's coming around the back, which you knew about because you could see him on the mini-map because he was following you, and then he could wall you off into the tower range and you're totally dead as well. This rotation was very risky. It was a big play to try and pick up a Giannis. Especially when he knew it was coming. Because he knew it was coming, it means that you've used Kraken and you've not got anything. Beautiful shark, though. Beautiful shark. It's almost as good as the one at the Super Bowl. Anyway, back to the game. He does get out, but look how overextended you are. Look how overextended you were then. You were so lucky that this Hercules did not driving strike you. One driving strike and you're in tower range without an escape route whatsoever. In the end, they choose to go for Arachas, which is not the call that I would have made, but you get away with it. Glad you're sticking around though, trying to support and push them back with autos. This is fine. But notice one thing that notice this, what happened in this engagement, okay? You rotated right, you came back mid, you used your ultimate, and what did you get out of it? Well, you actually lost a full creep wave to tower. That's what happened in that engagement. You lost a full creep wave to tower, and you used your ultimate. So nothing good comes out of this engagement that you actually tried to make here. Giannis is already back in the lane again. Did he even base yet? Maybe he didn't. No, he's not based yet. But he's not lost anything. You've lost more than he lost by that little engagement. Make sure you farm. Make sure you farm. Red buff was still available. You're still going to have to clear the red buff up now as well. You know he's going for red, because you should be going for red, and you're choosing to go for speed and help with the speed, I guess, it's fine. Mid harpies are coming up. It's really nice if you would have been able to have your red ready for these mid harpies, especially with your Kraken being down too. Gonna give up the rights, you're probably gonna be able to defend the lefts. I'm okay with the decision not to try and fight there, because your Kraken's down. Push your mid lane. Is this rotation smart? Oh, okay, you were just looking for the mid-harpies. I thought you were going to rotate right over. I'm like, you're out of mana here. This is the moment you should be backing. I guess you want to get red buff too. What I'd probably do in this situation is, yeah, just do red and back. Or drop Whirlpool back while it's still being killed. Come back, pick it up on the way back to lane. They're your possibilities on this. I probably would have done that, yeah. Drop Whirlpool and just base. Come back on the way back, kill this back harpy camp if it's still up, take the red and come to lane. Unless your lane's pushed in, then you might have a few issues with it. Sticking around for that, yeah, okay. But look at the decision you made. The reason it took so long, now you're going to lose a mid wave, wave in mid. Good news is Arachne's there to soak it, but that's putting you behind even further to an extent of where you should be against this Giannis. And notice how Giannis is now ahead of you in terms of experience. Maybe not in gold, but in terms of experience, he is currently ahead, and that's because you're losing out all the time. On these rotations and the decision making you're making about where to farm and when not to farm. Worst thing is as well, now he's rotated all the way over to the left lane. I'm guessing he's going to get kills out of this one. There's not a whole lot you could do about that. Yeah, if Apollo does die in that engagement, which is a shame. You know there's a big grouping on the left hand side, but there's nothing available for them to do. You do have Gold Fury coverage, I believe. I'm just going to check that ward actually is yours. Yes, it is. Okay, that's fine. So you do have full vision of this. Be careful the way you go in here. Like, okay, the ward's fine. I was a bit concerned about where you were going to go. And always remember, expect wards on both sides of these map. I mean, we saw them earlier on. There's still one on this side here. So he's got full vision of you coming in and out of this lane. That definitely should have been a sign the way you placed that portal down that he knows that there's a ward there. Maybe even consider buying a sentry if you want a ward there. I'm not happy with these defensive wards. I like the more aggressive ones, but I guess in this matchup where they're rotating so much, it makes some sense. If you're going to put a defensive ward down, try making a sentry. That's all my advice. It gives you better control. Now we're hanging with nothing to do again, this is the issue. What you should be doing though is considering the option here. You've actually just let this guy walk through the lane. I'm just going to replay this back because I don't know why you chose to do that. You should not have been letting him walk through the lane like that. We'll see the poke you take here. Then we see Arachne go. Watch what happens here. So you can see Arachne's going right, and they're probably talking on communications right now, on TS or whatever, about the gank that's going on in the right-hand lane. They've already spoke about it. You know it's going on. And you see this Hercules coming. You see this Hercules is trying to rotate over for this, and you let him go. Why'd you let him go? Why'd you let him go? Even if he doesn't, even if he's going to be so late to the party, it's unusual. Why are we not just following a Whirlpool out here to delay this guy from getting there? You just let him go. I don't understand why you just let him go there. Please don't follow him. For the love. Okay, cool. You don't. But you should be trying to delay them and support your team. That's actually a supportive act that you need to be aware of. Your team's going to look for the speed buff invade, which is fine. Be careful about your angle here. You can get caught out of position by it. So, options in that little bit there that you saw him. You tried to get the Whirlpool right underneath him immediately. There was other options. You could have just poked him with damage overall. Obviously, you're maxing your 1 second, so you're just going for the burst. But if you like just hitting him with your 2 over and over again, eventually you know he's going to drive in strike. And by his pathing, he's only got 2 escape exits. He's not going to go towards the Thor, so he's coming back to mid lane for the support of Yana, so he's coming this way. So what could you have feasibly done in this situation? Well, you could have dropped Whirlpool around here instead. If you drop Whirlpool here, he's got no escape route this way. He has to come towards your team or back on himself again. If he comes back on himself, you've got spiders there and a web. You can come down this way. It's not an easy thing, honestly, to pick out. I'm just trying to say these are the opportunities you could have done for yourselves. Nothing really happens out of the engagement. You did push the tower that time, and you're back to mid lane for farm. Farm, farm, farm. Cool. General poke. Go Kraken! Go Kraken. You got pulled in by Hercules, though. You got yourself a kill. You're not taking the tower. This is good stuff. Good Whirlpool. Trying to get Giannis. Awesome. Don't be scared of staying in here. Don't be scared of staying in here. You've got no aggro. That was fantastic. Just want to watch that back one more time because I want to see how you got pulled in. I think you got hit by an Earthbreaker, I'm guessing. This was them that really made the misplay. Like, Thor. I mean, one thing to note there, you do it, but the moment, always think about enemy abilities, okay? This is important. Always think about enemy abilities. He threw out that damn hammer, yeah? If you press tab, he's not got beads, so his hammer is now on cooldown. If we check in with him, if he would stop spinning and making that silly noise, his hammer's now on cooldown for 10 seconds more after throwing it out, which means this is a perfect target for you to crack in immediately. Immediately. He has nothing. He's got nothing. He's got butt kiss. He's in trouble. A lot of trouble. So you could have Kraken straight away when he was in that situation. You do Kraken now, which is fine. But try and do it when he's in the spin. You do it in the spin, he can't use his Aegis. Remember that. I thought you got pulled in, but I guess now you just ran in there. That's fine. The Whirlpool's good, like I said. I'm glad that you dive in the tower. Don't be always take into account what your teammates are doing. And if they're diving, then you should be diving too to support them and at least getting the kills for it. God Fury Call. Interesting. Now, in this team right now, you've got an Osiris, you've got you, and your Apollo literally just died. So you should know there's an Anher and a Kronos still available on the map. You know that Kronos is coming because Osiris is bringing him along like a little following buddy. Which is fine. But nobody really zoned. That was kind of risky that someone could have taken some more poke from that for free. Good disengage with the Whirlpool. Back out. Farm mid camps. This is fine. Mid lane, mid lane, mid lane. The decision to recall there is very, very risky, okay? I know we were talking about this is where you felt like you had issues, and this was an issue, I feel, in this exact situation. You should not be recalling when he's this pushed up. Kronos is literally in your mid lane right now. You saw him here, and there's minions to farm. It means that you were all looking to base at exactly the same time, but you can't afford to base because you need to make sure you farm this, not just necessarily for the farm and the golden experience. You need to farm it to defend this mid tower. Instead, you've allowed them free pressure on this map. Luckily, they don't go for it, though, and that should be an instigator that they're definitely going for this blue buff. You all know they're going for this blue buff, so you're trying to group and defend. Araki chose not to get involved. She should be over here. You choosing to come for this now is possibly going to lose you another wave in mid lane. You could have got this whole wave in mid lane, and you're not going to. You might even lose the tower because of it now. If they were more aggressive in that mid lane, they could have taken tower. Bit of a shame. But you know Giannis ult is on cooldown now. We check in with Giannis and just see what's online right now. We still don't have any actives on these three guys here. So we're not got to worry about... We can just crack in any one of these bad boys anytime we feel like. Only Thor's a bit of an issue for you. So be careful with going for Thor. That's what you've learned so far. Push mid. Push mid. Nice push on mid lane. Rotate, rotate, rotate. We don't need to hit every last minion to death, okay? Don't need to hit every last minion to death. You get them that low, they're tagged, they'll die to the minion wave in a second, and then you can rotate to this fight. Even if this minion came with you, which it sometimes can as melee, it's not a big issue because your team's invading anyway, they know you're on the invade. What you actually end up doing by standing here tanking this is delaying the support of your team that you could actually give out here by a long stretch, and that means Arachne gets lower. Not about cracking at all, really. You hit 3-4 people. Was Thor really the biggest target you needed to hit? That was unfortunate. Sylvanas ult. You still got your Whirlpool, though. I don't know what we're doing. Are we really worried about Thor? Why are we worried about Thor? Stop caring about Thor. He's got no HP. Get in this fight. Get in this fight. I hate that lookup. That lookup has just sacrificed your Arachne to the wayside. You could have been in this fight immediately, and that Arachne could have been in a better position to survive. Support, support, support. Yes, definitely the focus target right now. Okay, now your target should change. You're not going to get back to this Anher fight anytime soon with your cooldowns down. The fight should change to these two. It should change to these two. Why are we backing out? Why are we scared? Why are we scared? We're really strong right now. We're in a good position. You should be trying to fight this. You've still got support of this Sylvanas, but Sylvanas can tear off. I don't think you should disengage this. I think you could actually poke these guys down. If they try to make a big commitment for you, this is a Hercules. I mean, Hercules is, you know, OP, but he's in the support role right now. So he's not going to be very, very tanky at this stage of the game. Let's just check it out. Yep, he's not tanky at all. You've got a Giannis at the moment who used space and time in mid lane a few moments ago, so you know that should be on cooldown. Let me just check in to make sure that's the case still. Yep, still on cooldown for another 25 seconds. Can he realistically kill you at level 11? Yes, but he's going to hit everything, including a lot of autos. Why do I say that? Because he went for cooldown boots and he didn't go for penetration. If you went for penetration, there's more risk if you actually died in this scenario. You should be fighting. I think the back out is a call from the team, I'm guessing, more than anything else. And instead, you're going to get free poke and not return the favour. Now you're having to juke out instead of just fighting them. You could have just fought them. You're having to juke out for your life. You might get a kill. No, you're not going to get a kill. And you're going to get impaled to the mouth. So, what went wrong in that engagement? Well, let's watch it back one more time. Oh, we can watch it from exactly that cracking angle. This hesitation here was really bad. This hesitation was so bad. You're scared of Thor dunking down on you. If he dunks down on you, he's dead. You know he's dead. You don't even have to worry about that. The rest of the fight's going on this side. Thor's not going to do anything if he comes down on you. He'll hit you for a stun, and then you finish him off with just an auto or a tidal surge or whatever. He's dead. What you should be doing is getting yourself involved in this fight immediately. Get around that corner as fast as you can. You realise the mistake and you pop your 2. You try and turn up for it. Your 3 was not well placed. Your whirlpool was terrible there. Look how short it was. It was really, really short for this engagement. What you want to be doing is rushing up and trying to cut off an angle. You want to cut off angles. Where's the best angle to cut off? Well, their escape path that I'm clearly, narrating with my mouse pointer here. This should be the escape path that you're cutting off with whirlpool. If you do this, this turns the fight completely for your team. They don't have an escape path. They have to think about an escape route if they want to. You zone them off in that direction. You push them all this way. And at the same time, they'll focus the Apollo still, because you want to kill Apollo. That means they're ignoring you, which means you can deal shed loads of damage to them in the back. Tidal wave was terrible. Then you get hit by the knock-up and then you panic. I don't know why you panic when you get hit by the knock-up. You're surrounded by a Hercules and Giannis, like I said. You actually take more poke, probably, from not being in their face than actually fighting them with just autos. You had your autos online. You take more poke from that. We're juking around forever as well, and I don't get why we juked around. This is a risk going back this way as well. This is another point I want to make. I think this is more risky going back this way as Poseidon than coming through this way as Poseidon. You've got more chance of escape through this entrance than you do of going back on yourself, just because you know Anher is going to continue chasing that Apollo, may survive and may come back in the fight, and at the same time you're going technically deep into enemy jungle by going this way. You should have pathed this way. Instead, you path the other way. That hurts you even more, and you get picked up by Anher, which ripped the dream. So let's check the stage of the game that you are at right now just before we continue. 13 on the scoreboard for you. Are I unpaused? Yeah, I'm just unpaused while you respawn. Cool. 13 on the scoreboard for you, level-wise. Giannis, level 12. 5.5k, 6.4k gold. Looks like we're going into Warlock's Ash. You're probably going to be Gem of Isolation because you are Poseidon, which I'm fine with. Consider... I mean, Gem of Isolation is very, very expensive. It's a very, very good controlling ability, but it's not got monster amounts of damage on it. What you could have potentially done is picked up Spear of the Magus for your composition. Spear of the Magus is very, very good on Poseidon. It gives you the penetration you want as well, which will continue to help out the shoes and Medjais you've got as well. You don't necessarily need it straight now, but it works so well with Poseidon that you should probably consider picking that one up instead. As well as the fact that Sylvanas will be dealing more damage because of it, because you're lowering their resistances. But Gem's fine. I mean, I'm not saying Gem's bad, but you should consider it. I personally may feel like Spear would probably be better in that situation, first of all, and then go for Gem. Mid Harpies are up. You're going to get rotated round for them. Cool. Did we not buy any boards at that back? Did we buy a board? Sorry, I should watch that back and just check if you did. Wait for you to respawn. Oh, there we are, we're back online. Yeah, we do buy wood. Okay. It's a defensive ward again. These wards that you see defensively placed, right, at this point in the game, just to be clear, what vision are you getting from this? What vision are you going to get from a defensive ward? This is why I keep talking about the wards all the time when you place them, especially the mid laner. Like, this is how much, what you're actually giving vision of right now is this side of the map, which is what I'm looking at. This is the whole world that you can see, technically, based off if you place your wards at this sort of angle that you're currently doing. This part of the map. Exactly from this point onwards. But what side of the map has the more vision right now? Well, if we just 180 and just see exactly what they see, how much more of the map is there on this side because of this wall placement that you don't have vision of? What would happen if we moved it this way and just placed the ward here? Especially when we get to Thor as well, because Thor's going to look to come in from this angle over here into the mid lane. He's going to rotate into mid lane here and then jump over the wall, or use ult over the wall. So from this angle, what do they have? That's the vision that you can't see. What vision can you see if you place all your wards in this place? Ah, would you look at that? There's more. We can see more, boys. Think about your ward placements. I don't like that ward. I think it's kind of wasted. Even there's heavy rotations coming out, you want to place them deeper. You do want to place them deeper. You should know this as well. Like, this is simple stuff that you should know. Pressure in mid's good. Rotation for Anher is available here. What we're looking for? What are you thinking about here? Just go on Anher. Just go on Anher, push him out. You can start pushing down this left-hand lane. There's no reason for you to like hover here. I guess you're looking for a pick. The problem is that you're not respecting Anher either. This is an issue. If Arachne goes aggressive over this sort of side, you have to expect that people are going to respond to it. You can see the teammates in mid lane are responding to it. You clearly can't see that Anher's responding to it to a set because you're going to get impaled to the freaking mouth in a second. And this is going to be your fault for not respecting the fact that Anher might actually notice this is going on. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he just can't close the gap in time. We'll see. But now you should know Anher is behind you. Apollo should have called this. You should be well aware that Anher is behind you. So you need to think about your positioning here and what your game plan is. Looks like we're going for a Kraken Boy sometime soon. You do get the kill, but I think you're going to die for it. Badly. Really badly. Really badly. That felt like a kill play more than anything else. It didn't feel like a team play. It felt like a kill play. Luckily though, Anher misses abilities. And I still think he should be dead. What I would do right now is cracking this guy in the goddamn mouth. If I don't see a Kraken when this guy lands, this is a big mistake from you, Gingy. Big mistake. He just used his only escape, his only form of escape in a Kraken right now to jump into you. What should you do? You turn towards this mofo, you look his lion in the face, sorry, his mane in the face, or whatever you want to say, and crack at him to the face. Teach him about animals. Yes! But it's not perfect, but it's good enough! Good enough. Could have been better, though. You probably would have got more damage if you got him right in the middle. You didn't get him right in the middle. But I'm glad you did the crack, and that was really, really smart. Really, really smart play. You realise he uses escape. Good positioning to reposition yourself back to full range again. You do have to pick up the kill. Push mid lane possibly here. Left tower possibly. You want to be doing one of these two things. Mid. You're here now. You're here now. Don't think about going left. No. We're going gold. Did we need to leave mid so early? You're Poseidon, right? They've got an Apollo and Arachne to do that, so Varnis is going to rotate in with the Hog. Did you need to leave mid as early as you did there? Their whole team pretty much had to back in that situation. 2 of the members died as well. If not, and Hercules as well. So, you rotating for this? This is an over-rotation. I'm going to call this as a small mistake. I don't think you need to. You actually give away information. By you just leaving that mid-tower like that, you give away information. You are Poseidon. You could have sat in mid-lane. You could have pushed this wave in. You could have continued hitting on the tower. When Thor comes, you could just walk away to an extent and just deal with him, hit you 2 and walk away. It would have been a lot more effective for you to actually do that than rotate here. You give away vision of this going on. Don't know if Thor's got ultimate right now. Should we check in just to find out? Doesn't really make a difference because I still think the play's bad, even if he's got ultimate. Yeah, he's got ultimate. I mean, if he rotates into this fight, he could technically. He's got Hog 3 too. Oh, I don't like this play at all now from you. Honestly, I think it gets worse. You should have probably sat in mid lane just to keep vision of this Thor, just to make it not look so obvious that you're doing the Gold Fury. Okay. At the same time as you're technically zone duty on this team composition, you are technically zone duty. If Thor steals this, I'm blaming you. I'm just letting you know. Luckily he doesn't know. Luckily he doesn't. But I would have blamed you and nobody else, honestly, in that situation. Just because I think you should have been in a better position. You should have realised that too, as the mid laner and the one that's going to peel. You lose your mid lane tower for the base. Did you need to base? We kept talking about your decision making and what you're at. You're at 1700 gold. You've got enough to finish your jam. Do we need to base? That's my question. I guess we did. We went Warlock Sash as well, we didn't go Gem. Okay. And we got full beads online. Sad news is you lost the tower for free because everybody based at the same time. I'd really consider just watching your minion wave a little bit more in this mid lane. I mean, you can't really predict that 100%, but you kind of can, in the fact that if everyone's going to base, you lose pressure on the map immediately, which means they can put counter pushes on. So they kind of got some gold back immediately because you give up the tier 1 tower in mid for free. Arachne based, Apollo based, Sylvanas based, and you based. You didn't have... You were struggling for health, you had some decent mana still. You could have defended and just waited hashtag one more wave to defend your tier 1 tower. And it would have put some extra pressure on the map. It would have defended the towers. They wouldn't have got free gold for free. You wouldn't have lost some advantage in the mid lane. Good harpies again. And we start to get to that sort of stage of the game now where your team's starting to group, which is good. You should be keeping an eye for a rotation coming in from right lane, because you should know it's possibly coming in because they're missing. So aim yourself, position yourself a little bit more this way. If Sylvanas actually gives you vision of this at some point, then you've got to crack in the moment he walks through, and killing a Kronos before he can get his ultimate off. Sorry, yeah, before he gets his rewind off can be useful. You back up though, and I like you position him. I reckon he overextended. Beads weren't needed there. That was a really bad use of beads. Really, really bad use of beads. Why did we use beads there? What were we panicking for? Why'd you panic, Gingy? It's only a Thor. You're 2 levels up on him. If you look at the Thor's score right now, he's not having the greatest of games. 0, 1, and 2. Is he really a threat to you right now? Look at where the enemy team was in this engagement when he stunned. Look at where you were where he stunned. Oh my god, that's a lot of blood. Oh my god. That's a lot of blood. Look at where he was and look at where you were. Like, his team was zoned out from the fight. He was 1v2ing you 2 guys, okay? So you wasted beads for free. He got a free skill out of that to make his ultimate almost worthwhile, honestly. I think this is a bad mistake from you using beads there. You didn't need to. Didn't need to. Look for the fight in the mid lane. Who's our focus target here? Probably Anher. Good wall coming out from Thor again. Imagine if you had that beads. You're going to hit 1. Good with the tidal wave onto him. Why are you backing out again? Why are we backing out? Why are we scared? You were in a fine position. You didn't need to move from this position at all. This position was fine. Your team were okay and they're in a great position. You seem to panic because you used all your skills and you think you need to reposition. You didn't need to. You just saw exactly where you were and carried on this fight from this angle here. You gave great arch control of the team. If they go aggressive on you, your team collapse onto them. You're basically cutting off angles based off it because you've got this circular motion around them. You relieve some pressure on this side of the map, which means they can start stepping this way. This reposition was unneeded. We'll see how you go on. Notice by this reposition right now as well. Notice by this reposition right now. Anher now steps forward feeling confident. He's only got 2 targets. They turn their attention to Kronos. If you were stood around here and throwing autos at the Kronos trying to get back in where you had no other abilities up, you could still be putting pressure on this Anher. Anher couldn't walk up to this area. Anher could not walk up to this area right now if you'd stayed where you were. If you stayed where you were, he could not have walked up. It's a prime example of what I was trying to explain. And so he forces your team off, this Anher does now. It's not all your mistakes, but these are things that you can correct, you know? These are things you can correct in your game that will help you. Speed's coming up. Look for the reset, that's fine. Don't consider pulling, this is very, very risky. Notice what happened with your team. Arachne left, Apollo went back to the left-hand side. Sorry, Arachne's dead, Apollo went back to the left-hand side. This is an Osiris and you versus 2 men. Can you take this? Yeah, sure, you can take this. But where's everybody else on the map? Was Giannis back yet? What position is Sylvanas in? What HP is Sylvanas at as well? Is this really a fair fight? Well, let's talk about it. Sylvanas doesn't have monster amounts of damage, okay? Thor kind of does, but Thor's at the same HP as Sylvanas is. Sylvanas got sustain though. We know Giannis is about to come in because you can see him on the minimap. Yeah, you can see him on the minimap immediately. So this is a risky fight, especially with your cooldowns as they are. You've not got Kraken available. Your beads are on cooldown as well. So I think this is a bit risky. If you die for this, oops. If you die for this, it's because you probably should have, and you do. But we'll rewind and watch it again now that I mentioned it. Go back to the fight. Here we go. We'll slow it down, watch it again. Really risky. I mean, the reset's good. Going for the actual speed here is just too much. It's too much. Like, you won the engagement in mid lane, and I think you kind of throw some experience back at them here. This experience is actually really good to Thor, honestly, to kill you. Because he gets the killing blow, I believe. No, he doesn't. Okay, Dinosaur does. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody got the Dinosaur. Oh, it's almost as bad as giving it to Kronos, because now Kronos is actually doing fine as well. Sylvanas gets picked off as well, I'm guessing here. I just want to see if Sylvanas does get picked. Because your decision from you and Osiris to go for this. No. Okay, Sylvanas isn't going to get picked. You do get the speed. Was it really worth it for your life, though? I'm not so sure. Not so sure. Wait for you to respawn. It does take a long time at this stage of the game. Boom, we're back. Without a trace, you get your red buff. Stop. Okay, this ward at this stage of the game isn't so bad. I was going to complain about this ward again, but I'm okay with this ward now because your mid tower is down as well. Fire Giant is a threat. Where's the other ward going to go right now? I probably would have just dropped this at Fire Giant. Maybe not right on Fire Giant, maybe through this path here. I probably would have gone over here and just dropped my ward here, just because you give some control to the Fire Giant area in case they do go for it. I actually would have liked to have seen that ward probably placed over there anyway. I think that would have been a better call with this ward, placing it about here. Give it some Fire Giant control, also give the exit control as well. Probably the better option. So you know, Giannis Ult's on cooldown right now. We're 20 minutes in. Let's check in with the enemy team. Beads, beads, beads. Rank 1 Aegis, greater Aegis. I am smiling my face off right now if I'm a Poseidon in this situation. Why? Because there's only one person I'm really scared of getting out of my ultimate. So what should I be looking to do? Smash people in the face with Krakens. That's what I'm looking to do. At the same time though, I did pick up a Warlock Sash. Not sure why the Divine Ruin though. Not sure about that Divine Ruin. Not so sure. Why, are we really worried about Hercules? Like... Really? What are you worried about Herc for, boy? This is a support Herc. He's not going to be that much of an issue. He's level 11 too. Like, you hit him with a Kraken, he's dead anyway. You don't need this Divine Ruin. This Divine Ruin is a misplay. If this was a solo lane Hercules, it's a different story. I don't mind the pickup. I don't think you really need the Divine Ruin in this game. So... think about it next time. I think that's just a small miss, but I don't agree with that. It could have been invested into Bancrofts, which would have probably been better for you in terms of sustain, as well as you could have invested that gold elsewhere. You know, what I was looking at you out in build for actually was just in terms of farming, because now you want to be farming because you got your Warlock Sash online. It's taking you a long time to stack it right now. Consider if it's this stage of the game and you're trying to get Warlock Sash and it took you this long, you could even look for the Ethereal Staff. Warlock Sash is a great item and all. It does mean you can be tankier and in the fight longer. That's what Warlock Sash gives you, okay? It gives you HP. Gives you HP as well as damage. So that means don't be scared about getting mixed up in the fight a little bit more, especially with full beads and Aegis. Don't be scared to get up in their faces. Now you saw a big rotation come out to the left hand side here from the team. They all rolled through mid lane here. You do want to farm at the same time. They're looking for Gold Fury here. Be careful about what you're choosing to do, because that Anher sees you and you see Anher here. I'm really interested in how you're going to play this one out. Sylvanas is caught out of position here. This is an easy situation for you to get into and get out of, okay? What my initial plan is right now is to stand here and kind of look pretty to an extent. I've got to watch out for the Anher Impale. I've got to watch out for the Thor Wall. I know both these are possible because... oh, we don't have a ward here. I apologise. Do you not have a ward there? No, you don't have a ward. Okay. So, you're going in blind as day, but they only just left, right? They only just left the mid lane. So if that's the case, you know it's going to take a little while for them to burst this down, especially with Anher not being there yet, right? Especially with Anher not being there. I mean, when you check out that team, Anher's the big boy on this team. Thor's not having a great game. He ain't got much damage. Giannis got some decent damage on it, but it's burst waves, you know? Burst waves. It's going to take a while. What you should be doing, I don't know how we'll play this out, we'll see. But I want you to just back off a little bit from this angle here. Give it a little bit more time. Maybe just have a little nosy peek around the corner. Say hello. I don't want to see a panic beads. We'll see how it goes, though. I like that. Nosy peek so far. Oh, we should have seen some Impale coming to the mouth there. Do we beads here? Do we beads? We do beads. We reposition him. Whirlpool is terrible. Kraken is terrible. Wasted. Wasted panic. Wasted panic, Gingy. Wasted panic. Wasted panic. Now this engagement goes entirely the other way for the other team. What should you have done? When you got hit by the Impale, which you knew was coming, you should have hit your beads, which you did. I think the beads was the correct call. What you should have done is pop your 2. Pop your 2. Why pop your 2? Because it gives you movement speed. Pop your 2 and walk this way. You didn't need to drop the Whirlpool. You didn't need to drop the Kraken. They were panic skills that we used there. And now you've turned the tide of battle in this fight because you've not got your Kraken online. You should have really just backed out, hit your 2. Beads 2, walk this way, okay? And then they have to chase you into an Apollo. It allows Sylvanas to collapse around the side. These guys are still taking damage off this because some of them weren't focused on it. They were focused on you. Like Anher only just got there with the leap in. Thor wasn't even tanking it, so it was only Hercules and Giannis trying to bring this down. You still had Kraken up then. You still had Whirlpool up then. And then you could have re-engaged at your leisure at the right opportunity. You could have like chosen from this angle here. You would have been in the same HP still. Rotate. Sorry, you would have been at the same HP, but you still would have had Whirlpool and Kraken. That's my point I'm trying to make here. You could have rotated around this way, dropped Kraken on the backside. You could have rotated through here, dropped it here. You could have followed Apollo in, and they have to get through Apollo to get to you. And if they're coming for you, they're not doing the Gold Fury. If they're not doing the Gold Fury, that means that your good boy Sylvanas can come in and steal the Gold Fury, or set them all up for the all-in. Take into account as well, Sylvanas has that amazing knock-up ability. If he knocks them all up, then you get a free Kraken on everybody. Let's see how the rest of the fight plays out. You just going to disengage now? And now he's choosing to go back in. Oh, I don't like this. If you're out, you're out. If you're in, you're in. If you're out, you're out. You're in, you're in. Remember that. You make a call, you stick with it, generally. That was risky from your team. Good news is you reset the goal, Fury, and that wasn't down to your work. If Sylvanas died there, just so you all know, if Sylvanas died there, Gingy, that was your fault. That was all your fault if he died. This is a good play coming out from the Sylvanas and Apollo if they actually managed to get that. Oh, they do. Do they? Did they get it? I'm not sure. I need to check gold. It looks like you did. Yeah, you do. That's awesome from your team. Oh, slow it down. See, this is the thing about Tidal Wave as well. Don't feel like you have to use it just to confirm damage. The knockback can actually cause your team issues, especially when you've got people like Arachne. You're slowing their chance of potential chase down. Try and make sure they've got spiders applied or something as well. You're so worried about getting hurt. You got Warlock Sash. That's better. That's better. Now you got Collapse. Turn on him. Turn him. Yeah, that's it. I like that. You turned on him finally. Turn on him. Beat the crap out of him. He's just used his hammer, boy. Just use his hammer. End his suffering. Why are you backing out? Why are you backing out? That's better. The little bait round the corner, I guess. Little bait round the corner. That wasn't bad, Junji. I don't think there's much more to really discuss. I mean, I'm going to see the same sort of thing over and over again now. Try not to panic in the engagements, okay? Also take into account the skills that you've got available for yourself. Your rotations, you possibly could have... I don't feel like you could have rotated more, actually. I think I'm going to put that down. I don't think you could have rotated more. You saw... You just need to leave the lane, right? Instead of rotate, just leave the lane. You're stuck in the lane too much. I don't need to understand why you sat in the lane. Sitting in the lane, just randomly giving away free vision was weird. You choose to base at opportune moments where they can push and you can lose minions, okay? Sometimes I feel like you're looking for aggression when you should be farming a little bit more. In terms of, like, you walked into a lane after taking the red buff and let a whole minion wave die to the tower. I think they're real issues that you need to work on. Some of your Krakens and Whirlpools were a little bit panicky. One or two were good, though, and you had the right mentality behind them, like the Anhur jump in. That was very, very good. Gold Fury control. Little bit risky, a little bit panicked. Always try and preempt what's going to happen to you in engagement, okay? Know what the enemy's got. You know there's a Thor wall. You know there's an Impale coming. You knew those were coming, and what your escape route should have been was beads. You could have preemptively beads as well. Take into account that the beads, you know it lasts for 5 seconds. Sorry, for 3 seconds. So you could have, like, when he hit you with the first auto, you could have beads then immediately. It would have bought you 3 seconds. And even if he doesn't use the Impale then, you can still pop your 2 and run away and reposition yourself into a better position. And if he does try and Impale you, then it's not going to give you the knockback effect. And if he does Impale you after those 3 seconds, well, you should be in a better position anyway to be able to defend against that. And he's probably overextended and could get himself killed. So you could have preempted the beads there. You didn't play terrible. You didn't play terrible at all. I think you could have done more though, and your itemization you need to work on. I don't feel like Divine Ruin was really needed here. Let's be honest. This Divine Ruin was unneeded. This delayed your build elsewhere. Is my real thought process behind this, and that's why I don't really like it that much in this matchup. If it was Hercules solo, it makes more sense to me. I don't mind that itemization then, but in this matchup, in currently where support Hercules is on the field, he's not even an issue right now. Like, look at him, he's level 12, he's a babby. Let's just check something out of interest, okay, just to be clear about this. You're currently the rank 20, okay, maximum rank. Your Kraken's doing 270 damage base. Actually no, let's say you hit him dead center, okay, 340. Ignore the scaling. 340 damage. What are we at, Herc? He's at 2.3k. 2.3k. This is without your scaling as well, just to be clear. So he's not a super tanky Hercules right now. His survival instincts are the ones where he has to take a lot of damage and sustain it back up. You're a burst god. You're a big burst god too. You're one of the best ones against a Hercules in all fairness, because you control him so well with the Whirlpools and the Tidal Waves. He has many issues against you. Building the Divine Ruin I just don't think was needed. I think that was one of the bigger issues, the Divine Ruin thing. But keep working on it. I think you'll get there, Gingy. You've got a lot to improve on. There are only small things to improve on though, but there are things to improve on, and you know that. I think you can see that from that game. Maybe this wasn't, you know, the best game you could have performed at. Maybe you normally do better in that, but hopefully you get something out of that. And you move on and it goes well. Welcome back, boys and girls. Give me a second. I'll be on camera in a minute just to say hello and take a minute. Hey, Awkward Turtle. How are you? I've not seen you in a while. And hello the rest of the chat. If I'm not actually seeing you today, I'm trying to say hello to you. I've just been busy with that one. These are going to be longer analyses today, I expect, so you might have to get used to me not talking to you guys as much in chat. I hope you understand that. I do try and talk as much as I can. Hindu's community is only harsh to Hindu. He takes it all so he can enjoy himself. That's right. That's how I roll. What's up, Deez?